Arsareth is America. Giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakwadash. I'm going to make this very quick. Yesterday at the camp, we had a bunch of brothers out there, maybe about 20 brothers that came out in the audience. And we were going through, we were speaking on, was that 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. Then it led to, there was another scripture. It was Jeremiah 50 that, I'm not going to read it, but in Jeremiah 50, I believe it's around the 4th verse, it speaks about the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel were oppressed. The Israelites, Judah and Israel, were oppressed together. And that oppression came when they were over here in the Americas. When you go to, as a matter of fact, I'll go to it. This is Second Ezra, or Esdras, which is a Greek way of saying Ezra. The 13th chapter and the 40th verse. I'm just looking through it. Okay, I'm going to go to the 40th verse. So when you go to the first verse, it speaks about the Lord coming back on a gigantic ship along with the angels, and how he's going to destroy his enemies and our enemies, and that's going to be done in America. It's because America is ultimately going to be destroyed, Babylon the Great, and then it jumps back in time to when the Northern Kingdom came back, was already here, and it says how the rest of the brethren shall meet with them. I'm gonna read it. I'm just saying that, loosely saying that, paraphrasing, but I'm gonna actually read it. So what I did was I asked the brothers out there, what does Arsareth mean? And none of them knew. I mean, not that it's a big deal. They should know. They're somewhat new. And I believe one brother did know. And we had went to, I said go back to Deuteronomy 29 verse 29. I meant to say 29 verse 28. And it actually says, let me go to that. It's good to check out those words. Okay, Deuteronomy, where we at? Deuteronomy 29. And 28. Verse 28. It says 27. Deuteronomy 29 verse 27. It says, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as it is this day. The word another land actually translates into the word Arsareth, but I'm going to read it actually in the actual Hebrew. See, to get these mysteries, you got to know these words. Excuse me. Okay, the word land is Aratazah, and another is Akarath. Akarath. So Akarath, the subject is always the prefix of a bigger word. It's two words. So it would be read land another. That's how it would be understood if you read it in the Hebrew. Land another, not another land, but land another, because the word land is the subject. So let's read again. Aratazah Acharath, which is come back over here. It says those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land. That's when the Syrian king Shalmaneser V took over the kingdom of Israel, and the kingdom of Judah didn't give a shit because there was a split there, so they became enemies. It says their own land in the time of Hosea the king, that go back to 2 Kings, 2 Kings 17. You can read that whole chapter. Whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. And so you can understand the history. The Assyrians wanted to take down both kingdoms, but it could never take down Judah. The kingdom of Judah always fought their way out of being captive, but they wound up getting the northern kingdom. It says king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. That other land is Assyria. It says, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, which were the Assyrians in particular, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So you got guys saying that they went into Africa. They ain't going to Africa because there were people dwelling, Hamites were dwelling in the land of Africa. Now you might get stupid and say, well, look, nobody dwelt in West Africa. That country, which they call a continent, country, the scriptures don't use the word continent, they'll use country. Like America is a country, but it's also a continent. Look it up. So that country that they went to is the land of Africa, where never mankind dwelt. So what land did never mankind dwelt? Over here in the Americas. So that yesterday, we went through the I asked, I said, well, where's that? Give me that real quick about Solomon's navy. So I believe it was Apostle Ramlab that read it, and where he was going had Hiram and the Canaanites and even other Israelites go back and forth to Americas, because they were bringing back precious things from America: gold, spices, apes, peacocks, but they never dwelt there. So that's where never mankind dwelt. Why did they know to go to a further country? Because they knew about Solomon going back and forth to America. That's how he became rich. It said, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That's America. That they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. They kept going off. So he said, when we go to this new land, we're going to keep the laws right. Which this is a fulfillment of Deuteronomy 29, verse 28, 27, and 28. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. Because this is a fulfillment of prophecy. 45th verse. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half. And now in countries you have bodies of water. You have lakes, you have rivers, you have many bodies of waters. So like I said, the word country is talking about going over land and going over waters. It says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth, which is a Hebrew word. Let me go back to it. You read it backward. You read land another. Aratazah, land. Acharath, another. So now let's go back to here. This is the Bible gate. So these Edomites, they know. It says, as you can see, Arsareth, which means land another. Or they turn around and go another land, but it should be land another. A region beyond the river, the Euphrates River, to which the Assyrians supposedly took the 10 tribes after the destruction of the northern kingdom, and from which it was expected that they will return in the last days. So we here in the last days. Let's read on from 40. Let's read 45. No, let's read 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter times. What does it mean by the latter times? This time now. And now when they shall begin to come. Now when they shall begin to come is who? When the kingdom of Judah came over here by way of slave ships. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. It says the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. That they may go through are would be the tribe, the kingdom of Judah. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. So you had Israelites that were still in the Middle East, in parts of Africa, in Europe. Remember, the 7 churches of Asia Minor is up there in Europe. So what is being said right here in the 48th verse? It says, but those that be left behind of thy people, the Israelites, are they that are found within my borders, Israel. Now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, that's when Yahushua comes and goes to war, that war in heaven. He shall defend his people, the Israelites, that remain. So if you're over here in America, you're part of the elect, you're going to be defended by being beamed up. And then, 50th verse, and then shall he show them great wonders. the Lord, it says in Isaiah 47, he shall not meet you as a man. '51st verse. I got to read a little bit more. Then said I, O Lord, that beareth rule, show me this. Wherefore have shew me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? Did he come from the midst of the sea? No, he came from outer space. Let's see what 52 says. And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, which is space, because he ain't coming out of no water. Now some simple ass nigga come up, see, the Lord is going to come up out of the ocean. Sea represents space. And it says the beast came up in Daniel 7. The beast came out of the sea, right? They didn't come out of no sea. They formed themselves. This is parabolic. Even so can no man upon earth see my son, or those that be with him, but in the daytime, because he's going to come in the daytime. It says all shall see. The tribes of the earth shall mourn. It says this is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lightened. Oh, that's all I got to read. So the Northern Kingdom came over here to the Americas. They didn't go to Africa. You had some Israelites, we just read this, that stayed in the Middle East. When I say